So Martin, thanks for taking the time. Greatly appreciate it.
Anytime you want.
Okay. I'll take you up on that. You better be careful what you say around me. So how would you describe Stargate to somebody who's never seen the show before?
Found a ring in the sand. It sends you to other worlds. And the unfortunate thing is, because we went through, we started a war. And now we're trying to figure out how to stop it. Mm-hmm. While we explore other planets, other galaxies, other universes, through that ring. And you don't get wet when you walk through the water.
Yeah. Okay. So, so you directed a lot of episodes across the different avenues of Stargate. How many episodes have you directed overall?
That's always a question I get asked. I think 79, I think.
Okay.
Between the two, between Atlantis and SG-1, I think it's 79. Mm-hmm. It may have been more than that.
Yeah. So why you? Why were you the one behind the camera telling people what to do?
Everybody else was scared of it.
Yeah.
They were terrified. Like every other director in North America was scared of Stargate. I was the only one that wasn't. So they used me a lot until other people saw, oh, he's not dead. Oh, he's making it through. Oh, he's buying houses and buses and stuff like that. We can do that too. And then they started coming in.
Okay.
But another reason might be because we all started together. There were a bunch of us that sort of started out at the very beginning. And I think I was at the right place at the right time. I started as a first assistant director on the second and fourth shows. Okay. And while I was there, I had been directing. I directed an episode of a series called 2 before that, and was able to show them my show and say, "Hey, do you need a second unit director on this?" And I started second unit directing stuff, and that means that I'm picking up a lot of the battle sequences and things like that. And the day I was supposed to leave, because the other assistant director came in to take over, the day I was supposed to leave, I went to say goodbye to Michael and Rick in Rick's trailer. And Rick said, "You're not leaving, you're our second unit director." And so they put me on full-time second unit directing. And doing a lot of that stuff. And then they liked the stuff I was doing and the way that I was dealing with actors and things like that. And they gave me an episode, and they liked the episode, and then gave me another episode. And then I started getting lots of episodes.
Wow, and just kept snowballing.
I kept doing it right up until I left to do Sanctuary.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we hear all the time about how much fun it was on set. You know, about how there were times where people were really goofy would be a word.
Yes.
You know, and other times where it was, you know, sitting around and waiting for the lights to be done or the special effects crew to be done. How do you help wrangle all of the different elements of the show when you do have a group of people that love to be together and could just sit around all day talking?
Well, it didn't start out to be a problem. It started to get to be a problem after 7, 8, 9 seasons of it. But I think part of the other thing was that we lived together with, we were together with the crew more than we were with our families. Because, you know, you'd spend 12 hours a day, 5 days a week for 7 months with people. And so you spent a lot of time with these people. And you naturally just had conversations with them. I think everybody respected the fact that there was work to do as well. And what tended to be the sort of the disruptor in that was if an actor would come in that was not part of that, you know, the day-to-day core group, and they had stories to tell and things like that, it was always nice to stop and, you know, how often do you get to sit and listen to Homer Simpson tell you a story about, you know, another show? Yeah. So there were times like that when you know, when you had actors coming in and that's when it was hard to pull people away. You know, because there wasn't that sense of work sometimes when we did that.
Okay. So we're talking about a show that has impacted millions and has literally changed lives. You know, I myself, you know, my life has been changed very much because of the show. And so how has the Stargate franchise and working on the show affected you?
Well, it gave me my career. It started me out. It gave me my directing career. So I had to give up driving the beer truck, which I, was creating a little empire driving a beer truck. That's not true. I never drove a beer truck, but
I'm like, oh, you poor man.
Yeah, no. I started directing and learned how to direct sci-fi and do an awful lot of stuff that I do daily now on Stargate. So it changed my life too.
So what is it about this show in particular? There's a handful of shows that it seems out of the millions that have been created that have had such a long-standing impact, where 20 years after it first started to be created and 10 years after it stopped being off the air, that people are still going to conventions, they're still talking about it, they're still wanting more Stargate.
I think it was a show that people, it wasn't one of those things where if you had, if you were having a bad day, Stargate made it better. If you were having, if you had trouble at work, Stargate made it better. Stargate is the kind of show that you could sit and watch, and it didn't force you to think about too much. There was no dour moment in it that you had to, you had to concentrate too much on. It was a show that was accessible all the time. And that's one of the reasons why it's still around, is because it is still. When people start watching Stargate right now, they go, what is this? If they've never seen it. And they'll binge, because it was 100% accessible. It didn't need you to be a sci-fi fan. It didn't need you to understand anything. It gave you everything you needed, and it doesn't make you feel bad at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right?
So what does the future have in store for you?
Well, I hope more Stargate. I think everybody that's at this convention hopes that there's more Stargate. I am a huge fan of science fiction. I really like sci-fi. I really enjoy doing sci-fi shows, and I've done, Killjoys and Dark Matter and Travelers and things like this. I haven't done enough sci-fi lately because I've sort of been pigeonholed into this family drama kind of guy, that and romantic comedies, which I never thought I'd be that guy. Yeah. But that's what I'm being chosen for right now. But I do enjoy green screen. I really enjoy VisFX. I enjoy a good punch up and lots of explosions. So I hope that's in the future.
Nice. Is there anything in particular that you would like to say to the fans?
I say this to every Stargate fan that ever comes up to me. It's like, thank you for watching. That's the first thing. And thank you for the love that you have given us, because we honestly just want to keep giving it back to you guys. Every time I come to a convention, every time I meet a fan, I'm always overjoyed to spend some time talking to them, because it's something that we both love. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Martin, for taking the time.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
Welcome. Good luck with it all.